Leaving family behind is always super hard. After a week of family visits and milestones, we say goodbye to Newfoundland and start making our way home back to Western New York. But before we take the 36-hour drive all the way home, we want to explore a little bit of New Brunswick and Canada's smallest province, Prince Edward Island. And in order to get there, we had to take a 16-hour ferry from Argentia, Newfoundland to North Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Very good. Free car wash back?
Yeah, sick. She needed one.
Oh, and this time, I have my husband in tow.
Maybe a 9.5, please.
Thank you.
You too.
You too. Yeah, you too. You're not coming on the trip, are you? We're at the Argentia ferry waiting in line to get on the brand new boat, not sponsored. And I just got a text message that said our crossing is delayed by 3 hours. So we were supposed to cross at 5, be here at 2, and now we're not departing till 8. So I think we're gonna be hanging out in the truck for a little bit, but that's okay. They just sprayed the truck down. I'm sure everything is wet in the back. It's nice and sunny and hot. Everything will have a chance to dry out before we drive into the arse of the boat. It's just some time.
A la Suinu.
That's
A la
Mi'kmaq.
Suinu.
Mi'kmaq for traveler.
A la Suinu.
Into the hole we go. We are going to go inside the new boat. But first, we need to get out of our car and get our shit.
All right, what are you bringing in?
Overnight bag, food, purse. There we go. Cabin reveal. So I haven't been in a cabin in an Argentia ferry since I was a teenager. This one is brand new, so holy shit. My God. It's like a luxury hotel room in here.
Wow.
This is so beautiful.
Little laboratory.
Wow, like a real bed. This is so much nicer than the last one. There are 2 ways to get on this island. Obviously, plane. The second one is by ferry. Me and Mom came from North Sydney and we came to Port Basque. That's a short one and we're on this one. So St. John's is up here and now we're doing this 280 miles to North Sydney, Nova Scotia. So I picked an overnight ferry and I splurged on a cabin because, as you know, I get super motion sick. So I'm trying to we're trying to combat, we're trying to have a good experience here. Feeling the boat now.
Oh yeah, it's rocking a little bit.
Definitely rocking. These are placebo, but they make me feel better. I'm already on the gravel right now. But we're gonna start with a meal. My head can feel it.
If you're coming to Newfoundland for the fish and chips, don't get it on Marine Atlantic.
Alasunu is what the announcer called it. Alasunu. The boat is way better than it used to be. This is a new one. I think it's only been sailing for like a couple of weeks. Not sponsored. Paid to be here. But it's pretty exciting to come and visit a boat. Like we used to do this crossing as kids. And the boat was not this nice. I love boats. I hate being on boats, but I love boats. A large golden moon lifted from the horizon. Perfectly framed, it rose as we watched, the boat gently swaying beneath us.
The vessel is now approaching port.
Please listen carefully to the announcements to know when it is your turn to disembark the vessel.
We made it 16 hours on the ferry, 3 hours delayed. We got in on time.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. I was expecting noon, but here we are.
Yeah, that was a positive experience. 9 out of 10.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
I'd definitely do this again. I was really afraid when we got on that I was going to be sick the whole time, but it was really good. July 20th, 2024. Morning came quicker than I expected. I woke up really groggy, still in a little bit of a stupor from the motion sickness pills I took before bed. All I could think about was getting some breakfast and that first cup of coffee. The day ahead was somewhat of a transit day. 5 hours of driving to our campsite with a gas and grocery stop in between. Trying to get groceries. We have stocked up on groceries for the next couple of days. We have our classic Canadian Tim Hortons double in the cup holders, and we have about 2.5 hours now until we get to our first campsite. We got off the ferry at 9 a.m. and we just kind of making our way towards our campsite. And so we'll camp tonight. We'll be a super chill camp, and then tomorrow we're going to get up pretty early and we're going to explore PEI. 2.5 hours on the clock. As we pulled up to our first campsite for this phase of the trip, I wasn't really sure what to expect.
Continue on New Brunswick 960 East for 19 kilometers.
I booked a hip camp with no services on a beach in Cape Spear, New Brunswick. There were only 3 photos and no reviews on the listing. But as we pulled up, my anticipation for the night ahead grew and all my worries faded away. I think this is the spot. Excuse me. So we're gonna pick this campsite here with beach access. Just gonna stay here for the night, and we're not gonna have a fire tonight because there's a bit of a fire ban on, and we can't burn till 8 o'clock. And we are very sleepy people, and so I don't think we're gonna have a fire tonight. Tide is out, and there's red sand. I love New Brunswick. We are level side to side. Perfect. We are level front to back.
Wow.
I got a feel for it now. See that? I backed up and I was like, you're like, you know? And then I was like, hang on, I got a feel for it and pulled forward. Bang on, buddy. Fucking rock solid. No max tracks needed. Not tonight.
Rock solid.
Bang on. I love camping. Maybe that might not be a good one for tonight. We have been finding this tent is a little bit too short for Chris and I, which is a little bit of a drag. Our toes, when we're laying on our back, like touch the ceiling. It's really claustrophobic. So we ended up going and getting these yoga blocks from Target and stuffing them down in the corner. That seems to work pretty well, and just raising the tent up enough so we can sleep on our backs with our feet straight up. Definitely a quirk. I stole a Coke and a Sprite from the fridge in our room from the ferry. I think they were included, but we'll see if I get charged for them. And we're gonna have a snack.
You didn't steal them.
They were there for us. Oh my, first camp. We picked the campsite with beach access and all evening sauntered between the truck and the beach, shooting time lapses, touching the sand, and watching the tide slowly come in.
Dude, the thermocell. I thought this was like a gimmick. I was firmly mistaken. I take it all back. This device basically has a little tiny heating element in it, and I guess it's like a giant vape. And it just creates this little, just gases off, whatever. I don't even know what it is. I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't a believer, but I'm now a firm believer. The flash just disappeared. It's amazing. And then there's a whole swarm of flies up here, and I was like, oh, let's just see if this works. I put it underneath them, and like in 30 seconds, they all just were gone.
As the evening slipped away, the most stunning low light melted into a pink and orange sunset, eventually giving way to a soft blue sky. A golden moon rose on the horizon, while gentle waves crept up the sand that had been dry just hours before. What was meant to be an early night slowly turned into a late one as we sat by the ocean, taking in the moonrise, the steady breeze, and the quiet rhythm of the water. This was what it was all about. Just the soothing sounds of a gentle beach. The tide is fully in now. It's like to where you were like, oh, maybe it's not going in all the way in. It's in all the way right now. I can see it. And there's a big ass moon, and the moon is reflecting off the water. It's this big golden moon, and it's just so beautiful. And the stars are out. I can see all the stars, and I can see some city over there in our little tree house. The wind calmed down from our windiness earlier today, and it is perfect. I fucking love camping so much. It's a little bit damp, but you know, that's the slight discomfort you deal with when you're sleeping right next to the ocean looking at a golden moon. There's a few mosquitoes in here.
Get them.
Anyway, good night. We're gonna go explore PEI in the morning. And by morning, I mean all day tomorrow. It's gonna be great. Good night. The next morning, we woke up to light winds that grew as the sun came up. I had really expected the tide to have receded at this point, but was absolutely elated to find waist-deep, warm ocean water just feet from the shore. Of course, I couldn't resist a dip. Yeah, 10 out of 10. This campsite is like one of the best campsites ever. Thank you. That was so good. We got no time to be cooking bacon from scratch. Today, for breakfast, we're making breakfast burritos.
Oh, she got the Chipotle wrap gone.
And that's not mold, I don't think. There's jalapenos in that. All right, we're all packed up, and I guess we'll go to PEI now. That was like the best campsite ever. Like I'm buzzing off that still right now. So we're gonna go find a place to dump our trash, probably do a pee. We're gonna drive over the Confederation Bridge, and then we're gonna drive through Charlottetown. Maybe get a coffee or something, a little snack. Oh, I love this.
Continue on New Brunswick 960 West for 3 kilometers.
So this is the Confederation Bridge. It's the longest bridge in the world over ice-covered waters, and it links New Brunswick to Prince Edward Island.
Cresting the hill.
Gosh, last time I was here, I was like a youngster. My parents were like, we're having Subway, and I cried because I wanted
Head east
McDonald's.
on a bed white on the
I
right.
always wanted McDonald's.
How old were you?
Well, I don't think I cried. I think I whined. Look, there's Subway and cows.
It's fine.
It's still there. Subway that caused all the turmoil. Tears. Our plans for PEI were pretty loose. I had a couple of spots in mind that I wanted to see, but mostly we just followed our energy and shifted things around as we went. The province was so clean and pretty, with rolling green and yellow hills backed by deciduous trees and farmland that looked like something out of a painting. First on the list, coffee. A quick drive through Charlottetown landed us an iced latte, an iced chai, and a sour cream scone that we could not resist. We'd been driving for about an hour and a half, and we were definitely getting really snacky. Now, we couldn't come to PEI and not have oysters, lobster, and fish and chips, so we made our way to the southwestern part of the island. Okay, we're here at the Wheelhouse in Georgetown. We're gonna get some seafood. I'm actually so weak right now. That's tasty.
There's gonna be no clean way to eat this or no elegant way to do this. I'm just gonna go for it.
Is it good?
Continue on Prince Edward Island 6 East for 2 kilometers.
We had our seafood. I crashed hard. Needed a little rest. Looking like night flight in the flesh. Night fright. So we just entered a PEI National Park. We just got our day pass. So we're gonna go check out the lighthouse. What I'm noticing is that there's like a lot of downed trees, and I'm wondering if Hurricane Fiona shagged this place up a little bit. One of the beaches that we were gonna go through to that had the sea stack, a teacup sea stack, apparently it blew over in the hurricane. So I'm guessing that's why all the forests here are kind of not looking so good. Ending up in Prince Edward Island National Park was a great surprise, and even though our visit was short, it offered some stunning views. We had to pay for a park pass, so we thought we might as well make a few stops along the way, make the most of it. So we just stopped off. We're gonna go check out this beach here first. We got to stretch our legs and walk along the beach. The warm pink sand between our toes, the sound of crashing waves beside us. It was such a nice break from being in the car all day. Next, we stopped by Cove Head Harbor Lighthouse to take in the views and enjoy the cool pockets of shaded sand. As we drove on, the sand dunes started to rise along the roadside, and we couldn't resist pulling over for a closer look. We turned into Brackley Beach to take in their full beauty. We couldn't help but compare them to the dunes we saw in Arizona last year. One, a sprawling expanse of golden desert mountains made of sand. The other, windswept seaside hills crowned with tall green grass swaying like hair in the breeze. Each had its own kind of beauty, each unique, each appreciated in different ways. Our tired bodies finally made their way to camp. Since wild camping is illegal in PEI and most of the land is either protected park or wetland, we booked a nearby service site with bathrooms and showers, which was such a nice treat. Got camp all set up. This is a great spot for the night. It's like a hybrid tent, RV, glamping tent park. It was really close to the beaches we wanted to check out. So it was 6 minutes to drive here from the dunes that we were just at. So not a lot of people here, nice and quiet. Perfect spot for the night. It's toilets and showers, which is great. I didn't get to have a shower last night because we were at a hip camp with no services.
You swam.
I did swim. That was the time of my life.
No crabby attitudes.
So the benefit of staying at a campground is showers and toilets. So let's have a look. See what we're working with here. Wow. That's pretty good. Get out, I gotta use the bathroom.
It's for the OnlyFans.
When we were coming into this campsite tonight, I was like, oh, it's just like an RV site. Just gonna be a place to stay, just sleep overnight and get on the go. But honestly, I'm like really enjoying it. It's so beautiful out tonight and it's so calm, the winds after calming down. And there's no one really here. Like there's a bunch of tents here, but no like RVs. And so we kind of have this whole field to ourselves, which is perfect. So we're just gonna make some macaroni and cheese, have a real simple supper tonight. There's a wash up station here, so I'm not too concerned about getting this full of cheese. Well, good morning. Just having my coffee. And today we're gonna make our way over to New Brunswick and we're gonna drive up the Acadian shore. I'm gonna make up a big breakfast. I actually didn't eat enough for supper last night, so I was like starving when I went to bed. And now I'm very hungry, so we're gonna cook up a big breakfast. July 23rd, 2024. After almost 5 weeks on the road, the trip was coming to an end. As we crossed the Confederation Bridge from PEI to New Brunswick for one last round of lobster rolls and some beach exploring, I found myself thinking about how much I absolutely love the east coast of Canada. Fresh seafood is really hard to come by where we live, so tracking down one last lobster roll felt like a bit of a mission. One final taste of the coast before heading inland again. All right, we just arrived at Lenny's Takeout, and I looked on the internet for lobster rolls. This popped up on Reddit as one of the best. So
Best lobster rolls
in Shady Egg.
Unofficially, lobster capital of the world.
Well, we'll have to look it up.
I wonder how many lobster capitals of the world there are.
Oh my god, it's so soft.
It's like a toasted garlic bread bun.
What's this move?
This is the Chris Nicholas Ketchup Vinegar Express.
I picked the homemade fries instead of the crinkle cut fries, and that was the right choice. These are so good. There's a giant lobster. Wow. Vacationing in the Maritimes as a kid gave me a lasting sense of connection to these three provinces, even though I've never lived in them. When I stepped into the ocean again, I couldn't help but think that I could live here someday. I missed being close to the ocean so intensely that homesickness started to creep in. It's a strange thing having two homes, the one you grew up in and the one you live in now, but I know I'll never feel as connected to any place as I do Newfoundland and Labrador and to the east coast of Canada. Brunswick is amazing. I'd live here.
Yeah?
Can you imagine living in a place where you have access to this kind of weather and this type of beach? I guess you probably get used to it pretty quickly. The water's so warm. At our last campsite, we cooked a simple meal and soaked in the final quiet moments. I wasn't really ready for it to be over. Part of me wanted a few more days, a few more slow mornings, and a few more roads left to drive. Green Cholula. This is a cooking show now. I cooked the same meal as the first night. It felt like a fitting way to bookend the trip. Oh, and that one's mine.
Take your first
I can already tell you it's not going to be as good as the steak one, but it needs more sour cream.
Yeah?
With a big push, 16 hours from New Brunswick to Buffalo, I had plenty of time to reflect on my month on the road. I love camping! The incredible experiences, the quiet moments, and the things I learned about myself. But one thing stood out the most. If I wanted to travel like this more often, spend a month living out of my truck, some things about my setup really needed to change. Well, I'm sure glad that I folded that up. It's wet the whole way down here. I think number one annoyance that I think is going to be a big problem for the next 5 weeks is this tent. My current build served me really well for 3 years, and it's absolutely perfect for the weekend warrior heading out in a good pocket of weather. But when you're on the road for a month, you don't really have the luxury of picking a perfect weather window. You're out in it whether you like it or not. Day one of the trip, and I am quickly realizing the appeal of van life. And after getting caught in the rain for about half of the trip, I realized I needed a more robust setup. Something with a proper space to retreat to when the weather turns. Something that can really handle the elements. Parts of this setup were really great. The awning was an amazing addition. I would have been extremely uncomfortable without it. The fridge was the perfect size for 2 people for a couple of days, letting us eat decent meals instead of relying on fast food. My water systems were sufficient. The Dometic jug kept me stocked with enough drinking water for a few days, and the water port gave me the option for a quick rinse when I needed it. Everything in the drawers also had its place. But arguably the most important part of the build, the shelter, wasn't really working for me. We have been finding this tent is a little bit too short for Chris and I, which is a little bit of a drag. Our toes, when we're laying on our back, touch the ceiling. It's really claustrophobic. We found a workable solution for the height by jamming some yoga blocks in the wedge, but I just couldn't get past the water penetration. I was really sick of arriving to camp with a wet sleep system, and after rigging up a tarp over a wet, slippery ladder for the 5th time, I was done with this process. You really have to get out there and use your gear to the fullest to figure out if what you've got actually works for you. And that was one of the biggest lessons I learned on this trip. Somewhere early on in the drive, I started brainstorming my ideal setup, and I came to one clear conclusion. It's time for an upgrade.
It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down.
It's very early, but I'm about to hit the road to Michigan. 6 hours to get my new camper on. Let's go.